Greetings, Goddess. Greetings, Gods. So, today we're going to be talking about Goddess prophecies and basically just where the direction of the remainder of this year and next year is going. So, if you're listening, please like, please subscribe, please follow this podcast, whether you're watching it on any radio medium or video. Subscribe, share, post this in all your groups, send it to your friends, Twitter, Instagram. You could just make a snapshot and share it. If you would like to speak with me one-on-one, send me an email at nattyisisyah@yahoo.com. So that's nattyisisyah@yahoo.com. And also, if you would like to hear more of these, you can also donate. So also email me at the same email address to find out how to do that. So what I see in the future, what I see in the present, what I see needs to be done, and what I definitely see is going to happen is that both black men and black women are going to have to wake all the way up. And it's going to happen. It's happening. For the sisters, I see more outreach from one sister to another, more sisters, being way more mindful of what they're doing, having to really dig deep, more sisterhoods being formed, challenging these corrupt constructs and these constructs that have been corrupting us even as divine feminines. Also for the brothers, there's a lot that's been going on with the brothers, and there is also going to be some restructuring happening with the brothers as well. And we're going to get into all of that. So with the sisters now, the divine feminine, we are talking about the divine feminine and masculine today. So we're going to have to live up to that name. We're going to have to live up to that. We're going to have to really honor that. And we're going to have to really be able to harness that energy and to project it into the world that we live in. If we really want to see a world where, the divine feminine is honored in that way. Sisters are going to have to start to really seriously connect. We're going to have to really be sisters. We're not going to, we can't just be these vortices of white supremacy, or we can't just continue to be vortices of just perpetuating this fallen system it doesn't support us. It doesn't support the divine feminine. It doesn't support the divine masculine. It doesn't support the unity amongst sisters. It doesn't support unity amongst brothers. So we're going to have to use this information, this knowledge, this wisdom that we have tapped into, where we can call ourselves goddesses and we can call ourselves divine feminine, but outside of that, we don't feel as though we can do anything. Some sisters who are using these phrases and terms don't even feel that they have the power, don't even know how to connect the sisters, don't know how to reach out to the younger sisters, the sleep sisters. You're going to have to figure that out. You're going to have to tap into that energy and really be able to do that. You're going to have to make those connections and connect those dots. We can't just be upholding statuses and titles, really, but not have any works to back it up. So, we're going to have to become more conscious, basically, of what it is that we say and what is it that we're doing, and be able to, bring everything together. Bring it together in a way that is conducive to growth, conducive to positive quality relationships among sisters and even amongst brothers. So a lot of also the Black women is God ideology that has propped us up as sisters, a lot of that is going to have to be reanalyzed and restructured and basically it's going to be put to the test. It's going to have to be put to the test, and it's being put to the test more and more this year, because all it is amounting to in many respects is a feminist movement, which is not our movement. We are not feminists. We are divine feminine, but there's nothing divine about being a feminist. And we'll talk about that in another show. So you're going to have to become a true goddess. A true goddess. Right? And a goddess is not working for the beast. Right? A goddess is not harming our people or ourselves mentally, physically, verbally. A goddess is not, we don't bash each other, right? Sure, you have goddesses, you have warrior goddesses, and you have goddesses, on the front lines and on the battlefield, but we have to know how to direct that energy. And it is not meant to be directed at each other and, as far as other sisters or other brothers. It is meant to perpetuate our existence here and the future of the youth here. So a lot of sisters, they have that Sekhmet energy, or they have that Kali energy, right? But you have to know how to direct that Sekhmet and Kali energy. And we're going to talk about that in another show that I have called The Black Goddesses, where I'll go into that. But for now, we have to stop using that energy against each other, because that is what has happened. A lot of sisters have woken up into being a goddess, or have woken up to becoming aware of the different goddesses, and they feel that they've been hurt by Black brothers, or they've been hurt by their own sisters, so they take out that energy on each other, not considering who has placed us in sleep in the first place in order for us to be hurt by these brothers and sisters, right? Meanwhile, we're all being hurt by, or have all been hurt by, a greater systemic energy and force, and energy is not being directed at this toppling and destroying that energy and force, right? That has confused your Sekhmet energy and your Kali energy. So we're gonna clarify that going forward. So I see a lot of that. I see a lot of that energy being sorted out and being really harnessed, right? So more sisterhoods as well, more real, genuine sisterhoods, because, the word, that's another word being thrown around and flung around, but it's not actually manifesting in a way that is also not conducive to our growth, wellness, right? And security. So more of these sisterhoods are going to need to be formulated, and they're going to need to be established in a way that offers healing for us, because some sisters are still not healed. Some sisters are still walking around with badges of victimization and victimhood. No, we need goddesses. So we need goddesshoods to be formed. There's going to be more goddesshoods to be formed, right? So we're going to go from sisterhoods to goddesses and goddesshoods. That's what's going to be happening, because we're going to be caring for each other, self-caring each other, transforming, from self-care, from I need to heal, into group care, to we are healed. So it's going to be a transformation there as well. And it's also going to be a transformation from self-reliance, right, to group reliance. This is what a goddess energy does. A goddess energy provides for the all, not just for the individual, right? So a lot of independent, self-centered sisters, a lot of sisters only worried about me, I'm doing me, and, all of that is going to be exposed. And it's also going to be challenged. You sisters are going to be challenged into becoming a true goddess, a champion for your people, a champion for your other brothers and sisters. Because by you not doing that, you're placing a lot of burden on just one sister. And sure, that is fine, because that sister's a goddess. But we're here to work together. We only think that we're individual and independent because of the oppression in the system that is currently controlling a lot of people's minds. So you have to really question, are you under mind control, or are you truly a goddess? Do you own or do you own your thoughts? Are you projecting and predicting, and are you plotting and planning? Are you the one that is orchestrating all of this, or are you just benefiting off of 400 years of slavery because somebody has propped you up above your brother, your counterpart, or somebody has propped you up and used you as a tool against your own people? So we're gonna dig deep into that, and we're gonna sort that out, right? Along with that, along with these independent sisters, again, the topic of feminist is gonna have to be dealt with even deeper, because it's not bringing us any. It's not even bringing other women closer together. It's not even bringing that. It's causing more sister on sister hate. It's causing more jealousy. It's causing more backstabbing. It's causing more just insidious hate against your other fellow sister, even as she claims that she is a feminist, or even as she claims that she doesn't need the black man or anything. Why can't you still work together? It's because you have not stepped into your goddesshood. You have not stepped into being a divine feminine, and you have not honored the divine feminine and the divine masculine as well, right? So that's going to take a toll. That's going to take a shift, and it's going to be caused due to the unity that is going to be established. And this is going to set the tone. This unity amongst goddesses, this new goddesshood, is going to set the tone for black women and what they look up to. Because right now they're looking up to the independent black woman that they see on television, and they're looking up to the independent black woman on Love and Hip Hop and on all these reality shows and television. But when we set the tone for true goddesshood and God sisters who support the divine feminine and the divine masculine, that's going to be the new role model. And that's what I see. That's what I'm predicting. That's what I'm prophesying. Right? More sisters are going to have to challenge these social constructs, right, that are tearing our people down. We're going to have to challenge these independent women who, they're not feminine. They're really not feminine. They look done up, but it's all artificial hair, artificial booty, artificial breasts. And amongst black women, the least likely group of women who you would expect to have these things. But because they're not walking in their divine role, they can't produce the divine glutes, the divine booty, because they're not living up to their divine calling and fulfillment. They don't have the luscious bosom, right? The face is angry, is mad, is heated, so they have to inject it with more chemicals. And the more you add these chemicals, the more pain you're causing on a cellular level. So the more angry and irritated and hurt and pain and feel you feel inside. And instead of looking to the doctor who injected you with these artificial chemicals, you're mad at your black woman, the sister. You're mad at your black brother. When you are angry on a cellular level because you have all these toxins in your body that are plumping you up, really. But you naturally are gifted and have the ability to generate these features. But if you're not doing what we're called to do, if we're not doing the sensual movements, if we're not doing the whining, and if we're not doing the work, the bending down and the squatting, and the caring, the nurturing, if we're not doing this, our body, it gets masculine, it gets droopy, it gets unhealthy, and you look to the white man for help, and he doesn't know what to do other than to inject all types of chemicals into your body, which is it's not a sound science. These sciences are very young. A lot of them are being you're being used as an experiment, and you don't even know it, right? So you need to step into your true goddesshood, and again challenge these constructs and these body appearances, the challenge the standard of beauty, right? And the true goddess is going to bring that back, right? And it's not going to just be superficial, not just superficial, old natural hair, all this or that. It's going to be a true element that is going to come out, right? And so we're also going to be challenging a lot of these constructs that are just not serving us anymore. And it can be anything. It could be injustice that we see in the world. It could be relationship constructs, right? It could be diet, it could be health, it could be parenting. We're going to challenge these constructs that are just not serving us. So and one way that a lot of goddesses can do that, if you just want some tips right now to get started, is you have to fulfill your own prophecy. You have to prophesize on yourself. You have to prophesize on those in and around you, right? And this is one thing that they don't tell you about, is that you have to prophecy. A lot of sisters are saying they're a goddess, or it's just cute to say online, but what are you actually putting in the work? Are you actually prophesizing? So that's why I have these videos, these lectures, these topics, these radio shows called Goddess Prophecy, because I'm actually prophesying on a regular basis. And there are different ways you can prophecy. You can journal, you can visualize, you can set goals. So if you're not taking notes, take notes, journal, visualize, set goals. You can plan, right? When you set these goals, you plan, how you're going to achieve these goals. And, you actually have to perform. You have to perform the action and the activities that are going to lead to these goals being performed and manifested. So that's just a brief summary. We can go into what I mean when I say journal, visualize, set goals, planning, and performing at a later date. But just keep in mind that you're going to have to prophecy. You yourself are going to have to prophecy. And it's not, if you've noticed, I have not prophesized the hurt or any ill on any sisters or any brother. No, I'm prophesying that the good fortune on goddesses. So this is a good fortune goddess prophecy right here. This is a good fortune God prophecy right here. And this is what we need, right? So you gotta prophecy good fortune on our people, on each other, right? And that's a lot easier to fulfill, and it's also more beneficial for us on a biochemical level, because when you wish hurt and pain on your own brothers and sisters, that's really you that you're wishing pain and ill on. So, and that's what a lot of sisters have been doing, and even a lot of brothers, but that has to come to an end, right? So again, brothers as well are going to be having to step up into their role big time, because brothers have also been given, just as the sisters, they have been given a pat on the back, right? A lot of brothers now, they're able to use their platforms as basically battlegrounds against the sisters, and the sisters have, they've been clapping back. But we have to realize that the medium that you're using allows you to be in this state of hate and heat against one another. But if we take a lot of these platforms away, right, then we're going to have to come back together, because the brothers are going to need the sisters, and the sisters are going to need the brothers. And we're kind of seeing that right now. We're kind of also seeing that with the censorship that has been happening online. A lot of brothers are losing their accounts. And of course, I'm not saying that all the brothers that are losing their accounts are hating on women, or that they're all being caused by women censoring their accounts. No, this is just something that had to happen, whether it is advertisers behind this, or whatever the case may be. It's still something that it can be used to our benefit. It can benefit relationships amongst brothers and sisters, because when certain brothers see that, they're not getting the support that they were getting, bashing on the sisters, and certain sisters are not getting the support, for things that they may have done, or there's nobody else to report, well, then what? Now everybody is going to have to perform in a way that is more reliant on each other, right? And even outside of that, it's better when we are in a way more, again, relying on each other, because now you can actually work side by side with the brothers. You can actually work side by side with the sisters, so you actually get to see the value in your other brother and sister. And that's something that internet and social media does not provide for. It does not allow. It shelters you from the opposite sex, or it can shelter you from the opposite sex. It can shelter you from community and unity, because you have the illusion of unity at your fingertips, and you have the illusion of a sense of community at your fingertips. But for some people, that community is a bunch of men. For some people, that community is a bunch of women. And in reality, a lot of times we're driven to we're connected to the opposite sex. We want connection, with the opposite sex, the opposite gender. But for a lot of people who may hate women, they don't necessarily want to be surrounded by a bunch of men. They have this illusion of what the perfect woman is. And, if it weren't for social media and the internet, they wouldn't have that. So, and the same goes for women. A lot of times we have the illusion of the perfect man, but we're not going to get that when we have these platforms, right, that don't allow or don't require our men to perform in their natural divine way. So we kind of need a step away from a lot of these social media platforms, right? That way the brothers can build more relationships with brothers in a more meaningful way, right? That helps to reconnect the feminine energy, because if you really respect your brother, and he has a wife, or he has a divine feminine, you're not going to say negative things about women in general. You're not going to say negative things about sisters. And these sisters, which with this will help to reverse gender wars and stereotypes, because they're actually going to be able to see brothers working together with sisters, and sisters working closely together with brothers. And that's what we haven't been able to see in the last few years, right? And so we're also can possibly see a lot of more one-on-one interactions with brothers and sisters that again will create more meaningful relationships. And it will also help to us to identify the true people who are really for our upliftment and for the cause, because they're gonna, the rest will be weeded out, because you're not gonna have the support. You have an artificial community online, and that's why a lot of people have all of these subscribers and followers or whatever, but only have a certain amount of views. So we need more one-on-one. I'm prophesying more one-on-one interactions, more in-person interactions, and that helping to lessen these stereotypes and gender wars that we've been seeing. And if you notice too, I would say that a lot of the, which is ironic, but some of the physical altercations that have taken place are symbolic of that, because the physical altercation, you could say what you want online, but when there's an actual physical altercation, that is kind of when things get real. So, any more physical altercations will kind of program, or just hey, it's going to happen. A physical altercation will kind of either solidify somebody's view, or it'll give them something to think about it. So I think things like that are going to be symbolic. More physical altercations are going to be symbolic of us having to actually reassess what it is that we're saying, because we're not protected by social media. Social media is not really protecting the living, breathing man and woman. It is your word, and your word is your bond. So if you truly about your people, if you really care about your people, that's what's going to come out. And if you're speaking ill on each other, that's what's going to come out. So we need to prophesy the good fortune on each other, so that in turn can come out. So those are some of the things that I'm seeing, right? And in that sense, like I was about to mention as well, is that when the brothers are working more closely with the sisters, you're going to have less need for the derogatory names, because there will be less of these, so-called, I don't even want to use the terms, but there will be less of these images of black women, being less than goddesses, and there will be less images of black men being less than goddesses, because sisters are going to pull each other up, and the brothers are going to have to help each other up. So there will be less of that. We had less of that when, obviously we just came out of slavery. There was less of that, right? So it's a lot of these images, they are being manufactured by the current system and constructs that we live in. So we need to analyze these constructs. Do we need more polygamy? Do we need to help random people out more? Do we need to stop judging people? Do we need to stop with the black on black discrimination? Do we need to stop that, right? And also, do we need to, again, raise a new standard and set a new tone for what it is to be a black man, a black woman, a black goddess, and a black god, right? And like I was saying too, also, this will also weed out a lot of homo effeminate male groups, because a lot of times too, some of these people speaking against these homo effeminate males, some of them, because they speak so much on it, they become homo effeminate themselves, right? But when you're placed in real life situations, only the real will survive, and that is true nation building. When the real is actually there and they're surviving and thriving, right? So we're going to see a lot of that. So if you are still listening, right, you can contact me if you want to ask me any questions. If you want to, find out how you can step more into your goddesshood, or, create a goddess hood ship, if you want to do something like that, if you want to create more unity and bonds amongst your sisters, or even your brothers, you can email me if you want to find out how you can fulfill your own prophecy or some steps. You can also contact me with that as well, right? And now is the time to make these decisions, right? Because it's a perfect opportunity. We're right at the cusp where we still have access to a lot of social media. We have access to a lot of information. The world has not completely gone up in flames from it being bombed or exploded or anything. People haven't completely gone crazy from a solar eclipse about to happen, right? And we still have life. There's still hope. So now is the time to really step into your goddesshood and your power, really. So if you're still listening and you want to do something that can make an impact, to change the way things are going, definitely contact me. And again, my email is nattyisisyah@yahoo.com. That's NATTYISISYAH. It's all one word, at yahoo.com. You can find me on Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, and of course, wherever you're listening to this ad. But I prefer that you, again, email me on Yahoo. My email, right? And again, if you really feel this message, if you want to hear more of this, if you want to speak on this, email me. And if you can donate to help me spread this message and to help me to continue to create more content and more information like this that can help enlighten and uplift brothers and sisters amongst all the myriad of information that is out there to degrade our brothers and sisters. But if this one stands out to you and you want to see more of this, go ahead and send me an email at nattyisisyah.com, and I can let you know how you can also donate to help out there. So this is the end of this podcast. Thanks for listening.